If you want a more focused search than one search, and you want to be a little more strategic about choosing your news sources, there are a few other ways that you can search. The easiest way is to search under databases by subject. If I click on research and I go to databases by subject, you see on the far right here, news and current affairs. This lists only 3 of the many news-related databases that we have. They aren't in order of importance. They are just alphabetical. So these are just 3. You see the New York Times. The New York Times is considered the premier newspaper in the United States for its in-depth coverage, not just of news and global affairs, but also arts and sciences. So a lot of times people just want to go look at the New York Times, and if you go to the website, you won't get all the articles that you can through our databases. I'm going to go ahead and click on More here. And we're listing under, we went to our databases A to Z under the category of news and current affairs, and you can see there are quite a few. If you know that you want the Wall Street Journal, which is another famous, highly regarded newspaper. If you want primary sources from events, we have 19th century US newspapers as well as New York Times historical. So if you're looking for primary sources that were written as something occurred, that's where you would go. I'm going to scroll back up. I really like this one. It's called US News Stream, and it's called, it used to be called National Newspapers, but it covers the LA Times, New York Times, Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, and a few other, actually many other major newspapers. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that one because I'm not quite sure which one I want to go with. So I'm going to go ahead and type in living wage and search. So you can see I have from the Village Voice, Boston Globe, Washington Post. I can also come over to source type and click just newspapers. You'll also find other information such as blogs and that kind of thing, or transcripts from radio programs. Let's see what I can find here. Here's something. Disneyland workers aren't paid a living wage. This is from the Los Angeles Times, so I can click on that. And then I can see if it's what I want. I have the same options over here. I can email it, I can save it, I can print it, and I can also do the citation. I did notice that these citations are not as good as the other ones, so you will really have to fix them if they're not correct. So that's just an example of a database that has a lot of the major newspapers in it. You probably noticed that my search was pretty broad, so I might want to add in, if I go to the advanced search, I can put in living wage and minimum wage. And I can actually add a row too if I want. I can put United States. And I can also put something from the last 3 years so I don't have to try and figure out how to slide something like in the other one. So I'm just going to click on search. Okay, so again, these are, this is from, I'm not sure what that one is, Honolulu Star. That's from a radio station. There's even some websites in here. So again, if you just want newspapers, you don't want wire feeds or other sources, just click on newspapers. Okay. So I'm going to go back to, let me just close this, back to this page. As I said, if you're really interested in just the New York Times, you can go directly to it here. Historical New York Times, if you're doing, you need a primary source or something historical. So this just goes to show there's just so many different databases. Not all of these turn up in the one search. That's why I'm saying that if you don't get what you need in one search. Be a little more strategic and choose a database. And again, we got to this by going to databases by subject, news and current affairs, and then more. You can also go there directly by going to databases A to Z list and searching by subject here, news and current affairs. Okay. All right, well, I hope that helps. Again, just another way to search, a little more focused than just using one search, but okay, great, thank you.